Let's go ahead and toss it on over to Fox Carolina's Alexa Erbach. Alexa, you're with Sheriff candidate Bill Rhyne. Explain the atmosphere where you're at tonight.
So right now I'm standing in Moore, South Carolina. I'm in a barn right now, and inside it may look pretty barren right now. You can see some signs behind me, but that wasn't the case up until about an hour ago. It was a pretty pop and watch party over here. Almost 100 people here, pretty crowded, and Mr. Rhyne did take a lot of time to speak with his supporters as well, and he's taking time to speak with us right now. So thank you so much for joining us. How are you feeling now that you're going into this runoff election?
It's a new election. You know, tomorrow morning it starts all over again. You know, we've been doing this for 11 weeks now, and it starts all over tomorrow morning.
And so when it starts tomorrow morning, what is your next move? What is the first thing you're going to do?
Well, you know, it's really staying the course. You know, calling all your supporters that have supported you in the past, making sure that they understand that, you know, we've got 2 weeks left in this race. You want to make sure that you stay the course because obviously what we've been doing has been working. So we're not going to change much when it comes right down to it. This is a grassroots type of election, knocking on a lot of doors, talking to a lot of people, ensuring them of what our plans are into the future, and that's what we're going to do.
There were a lot of people who came out today, who came out for early voting. What is your message to voters who may not have voted for you in the primary, but with this upcoming runoff, what is your message to those voters? Why should they vote for you?
Well, the most important thing to the voters is just to come back out and vote again. You know, typically when you see a runoff like this, we lose upwards of 30% of the voters, sometimes more. And this is an extremely important election. You know, you've heard this time and time again that this is probably the most important election in the history of Spartanburg County. And we want people to understand that. We need to make sure that they're coming out to the polls because they're the ones that determine the future of this office. They're the ones that are going to determine who the next sheriff is going to be.
Wow. And you know, one of the things you've really been running on is transparency. Every single voter that I spoke with today talked about the need for transparency. So tell us again, how do you plan to keep this office and the sheriff's office and everyone there transparent?
You know, there's a lot of different things, but just being open to the public, talking with the public. You know, one thing that they've heard me talk about again and again and again, and when you start talking about transparency, what most of your voters and most of the citizens want to know is where's their money going? And, you know, we've said that we're going to add a link on our website that actually has our budget, where they're going to be able to go in quarterly and see what our budget is, line item by line item. The other thing is we're going to start a audit report, a yearly audit report, kind of like a report card, and it'll be released by August the 31st of every year, and it's going to show all of our successes in the areas that we need to improve, and we'll add an IP, which is an improvement plan, what our goals are going to be to, you know, perform better in that upcoming year. But folks are going to be able to see that, and they're going to be able to see what we're doing, the kind of performance that we're giving back to the people. But, you know, just having that open door policy also and being involved in the community and getting out there and letting them see you, having that opportunity for them to come and ask you questions and come in and, you know, just ask you the things. Because one of the best things about this race that I've enjoyed probably more than anything is the door knocking. They think that that is a something that gets mundane and that it's not important, but it is. This is a grassroots type effort. But what happens when you're out there knocking on so many doors? You meet people and you really find out what their true concerns are. You know, we're terrible about thinking we know what the county needs, but when you listen to the people and the people tell you what their concerns are, then you can come back and you can turn that into a positive outcome for them and take what they're telling you and use it to make sure and ensure that the sheriff's office is moving forward the way the people want to see it move forward.
Well, thank you so much. That was Bill Rhyne. We really appreciate your time. And you just heard the most important thing that Bill Rhyne wants to convey to voters is to get back out and vote in 2 weeks in this runoff election. For now, reporting live in Moore, South Carolina, Alexa Erbach, Fox Carolina News. Back to you guys.